Welcome to Isla Nublar, Jurassic Park. In the previous episode, we saw the park's final additions. Over the last 5 years, John Hammond and his team worked from the ground up to get Jurassic Park where it is today. Now, Jurassic Park is fully operational and open to the public. Let's take a tour of the park to see where it all started and where it ended up. Our first stop is the unusual park entrance. Guests enter via helicopter and are then loaded into park jeeps. The vehicles drive around a small lake before going under an arch with the Jurassic Park logo. This is the actual entrance to the park. We arrive at Main Street. There are 2 pathways to go down. We turn right onto the faculty path. The worker facilities are the backbone of Jurassic Park. Everything from power production to the creation of dinosaurs happens here. Ranger teams are deployed to monitor the dinosaurs and report any incidents, and the medical facility keeps the dinosaurs and guests healthy. Moving away from the worker facilities, we return to Main Street. Going down the path, we pass by a few amenities before coming up on the heart of Jurassic Park, the Visitor Center. Going down the pathway in front of the Visitor Center, we come across the first dinosaur enclosures. In the first enclosure, we have the Struthiomimus, a small herbivore species that loves to graze in large fields and hides in the forests at night. This was the very first species ever introduced into the park. Across from the Struthiomimus enclosure, we have the Edmontosaurus pen. This is a medium-sized herbivore species that prefers the open plains. They're the cattle of the Cretaceous period. Moving away from the Struthiomimus and Edmontosaurus enclosures, we continue down the pathway and reach our next dinosaur species, the Triceratops. Another medium-sized herbivore with a large plate on its head. Inside the Triceratops enclosure, there is the Microceratus, the smallest herbivore species in the park. Continuing with the tour, we make our way down to the end of the path, where we pass a small hotel and come across a vehicle station. This station takes guests to the lower park area, home to 3 carnivore species. Once arriving in the lower park area, we are greeted by amenities and another pathway that goes to a second worker area. However, we will ignore the worker area. The first carnivore species introduced to the park was the Herrerasaurus, a small dinosaur that lived in small packs. Right next to the Herrerasaurus enclosure is the Baryonyx pen. The Baryonyx is a medium-sized piscivore species that feeds on fish and is relatively docile unless threatened. Going behind the Herrerasaurus enclosure, we meet the Dilophosaurus, a small carnivorous species. While small in size, it makes up for it with its deadliness. The Dilophosaurus can spit venom that paralyzes and blinds the victim. It wouldn't be smart to encounter this dinosaur in the wild. With that, we've seen everything left to offer in the park area. We take the vehicle transport station and return to the main park. Once returning, we traveled down the pathway we had once come and took a left turn back to Main Street. We passed by many amenities before taking another right turn onto another path. This pathway leads to two more herbivore enclosures. The one on the left with the hotel is the Stegosaurus enclosure. The Stegosaurus is a medium-sized herbivore with plates that run down its back and wields a thagomizer to defend itself. On the right, we have the Parasaurolophus enclosure. The Parasaurolophus is another medium-sized herbivore that, just like the Edmontosaurus, was much like the cattle of its time. Continuing down the path, we come across a new section of the park. This is the home of the Safari Zone, home to 3 unique species of dinosaur. We take a tour and drive into the enclosure to better see the dinosaurs. The first species we come across is the Gallimimus, which stood in the middle of its tracks, blocking the tour vehicles. The next species we come across is the Titanic Brachiosaurus. It is the largest species in the park, standing around 13 meters in height. Moving past the Brachiosaurus, we see a few members of the Mysosaurus species running around the pen, being as playful as ever. Once we're finished with the safari tour, we make our way back down the path we came. But instead of going back down Main Street, we take a right turn onto another adjacent path. Going past the amenities, we come across the Velociraptor enclosure. We tried to get footage of the dinosaurs, but it seems like they're not interested in us. Moving away from the Velociraptor enclosure, we make our way back onto Main Street before turning right on another path. This pathway leads to another carnivore enclosure. This is the medium-sized species, the Carnotaurus. The enclosure has absolutely no cover, as the Carnotaurus loves the open space and to bathe in the sunlight. Once we had viewed the Carnotaurus, we returned to Main Street and followed the path. Passing by the Velociraptor enclosure and other amenities, we arrived at our final destination for the tour, the Tyrannosaurus Rex enclosure. We entered the viewing platform to try and get a glimpse of the dinosaur, but she was nowhere to be found. As it turns out, the T-Rex was hanging out by the opposite end of the enclosure. With that, we have seen the entirety of Jurassic Park, all the way from the smallest herbivores to the largest predator on the island. Jurassic Park is undoubtedly John Hammond's greatest success. His dream had become a reality. Thanks to the scientists, led by Dr. Henry Wu, it could only go up from here. To quote Hammond himself, how wrong he would be. Late at night, guests staying in the hotels were treated to a late-night viewing of dinosaurs. Everything was going well until an unexpected storm hit the island. Initial readings said the storm wouldn't be dangerous, but it got closer to the island, and the situation changed. A massive tropical storm covered the island, knocking out the power. That's when it happened. The gate to the Tyrannosaurus enclosure opened. The T-Rex began to wander out of the pen, causing panic among guests. As the T-Rex continued its exploration, the gate to the Velociraptor enclosure also opened. This wasn't random chance, this was sabotage. The Velociraptors wandered out of their pen, stalking for new prey. As the T-Rex walked down Main Street, the T-Rex then broke into the Stegosaurus enclosure, causing the dinosaurs to panic and alarms to go off. The alarms upset the other dinosaurs, causing many of them to escape their pens to voice their frustration. As the storm passed, Jurassic Park was already in chaos. Dinosaurs, both herbivores and carnivores, had escaped. Many guests were injured and in a few cases killed by stampedes or eaten alive by the carnivores. It was chaos, and Hammond had no other choice but to shut down Jurassic Park. As stated before, Jurassic Park was Hammond's greatest success, but also his greatest failure.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching the final episode of Jurassic Park Alternate History Season 1. Yes, this was just the first season in a probably long series. I don't know how long it will be. If you guys want to see Season 2, leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you guys want to see from Season 2. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you all later.